Today I'm going to teach you how to take normal looking GoPro footage and make it cinematic. Let's go. Alright guys, I got a quick one for you today. It shouldn't take too long, maybe 10 minutes or so of your time, but I'm going to show you how I take footage from my GoPro Hero 6 and make it look cinematic. So I'm going to take, and I've made a little montage, and I'm going to play the original right now. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to, with just a few simple fine-tuned adjustments in Adobe Premiere, we're going to make it look like this. All right, so what we'll do is we're gonna need to jump over into Adobe Premiere. I will get my screen capture stuff going on, and I'm gonna show you how I do my tweaking on GoPro videos and make them look awesome. So let's jump over there right now. All right, so like I said, we're gonna jump over into Premiere, and I'm gonna show you, we're not gonna go through the entire montage. I'm just basically gonna pick a clip or two and show you how that you can tweak them a little bit to get them just to look awesome. So many people have asked me how I make GoPro video footage look so good. That's what I'm going to jump into right now. So the first thing I do is I should let you know that I plan my shots out first. Always plan what you're shooting. Always make sure you know at least a little bit in your head what you want it to look like when you get into the editing process. It just helps so much more when you kind of have an idea in your head of what you want it to look like. I shoot it at 1080 at 60 frames, that way I can slow it down. I'm going to show you the quick way that I do it to slow it down. So I make a sequence at 24 frames a second. That's what I make my sequences in. Before I do that, I import all of my clips into the project manager. I'm going to use this clip right here because I like the way that it turned out. I always right click on all my footage, modify and interpret footage. So you open that, you're going to click this assume, change it to 24 frames a second. Basically what that does is that takes your 60 frames that you were shooting it in, makes it 24, so it's gonna slow it down automatically. So now my footage is automatically slowed down. I don't have to, you know, right click and then do the speed duration. It's already ready to go. Next step I do is I open up all of my clips one at a time and I scrub through it and find where I want to, what footage I want to use. So I like the way this looks right here, with my buddy Josh opening the door or the gate. So we're just gonna open the gate and we'll stop it right there. So there's my in and my out point already set up. I can drag it down into my timeline now. So as you can see, nothing major. Footage is there. We're gonna go ahead and mute this audio because we don't need this audio. So there's the footage right there. Your in point, your out point. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create an adjustment layer. We're gonna give it that anamorphic look, add those bars on the top and the bottom. So we'll just bring the adjustment layer down in here, bring it to where it needs to be. As you can see, nothing's on the adjustment layer yet. I already have it open, but we're gonna go ahead and get into your effects panel and type in crop. Easiest one, crop. We're gonna bring it down onto our adjustment layer. Then we will go to our effects tab and we're gonna add, you know, I usually do 8. It adds black, oops. I don't usually add 8 right there. I add 8 right. This is gonna be 0. This is gonna be 8. There we go. So now we have black bars on the top and the bottom. What you can do from that is you can kind of take your footage. As you can see, he's just a little high up on the shot in the frame, so I'm just going to drop it down a little bit. You can kind of frame it up. You can see where your black bars, and we're gonna put them right there. So as you can see, already slow motion. It's already looking better than it did. But we can take that even further. So this is where you're going to learn my technique on how I do my orange and teal. The first step is you're going to open your Lumetri color in Premiere. I know there's other ways to do this with lookup tables and everything. I use LUTS sometimes. I like doing it manually through each one. That way I know that everything is exactly how I want it to be. So first step we're going to do is we're going to open the curves panel, which is in Lumetri, and kind of bring this down just a little bit. If you bring it down too much, you're going to see that it just kills everything. So this is going to be default. Just bring it down just a little bit. Then you're going to want to make, basically you're going to want to make an S-curve. You don't have to make a true S-curve. This is completely subjective to your footage. You know, make it look right. Don't make it look all, oh, I can't grab that one. Don't make it look all weird like that. You know, you want to keep your footage looking nice and crispy. So as you can see, it's already looking better. Basically I just kind of, you know, brought the curves down a little bit. Next step into it is you're going to want to bring up your color wheel. This is where I do my orange and teal look. You can kind of do anything you want, but orange and teal is what I kind of aim towards always, and then I tweak it from there. Orange and teal basically has become that cinematic default look. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to bring your midtones up. The reason you do the orange and teal is it's across from each other in the color spectrum, and they complement each other well. So we're going to bring the midtones up, and as you can see in this area, it's getting pretty orange already. So then you're going to want to bring your shadows down. So midtones up in the orange, shadows down in the teal, highlights down in the teal. So as you can see, let me just click the Lumetri. Still getting better. You can see the color in his skin is a lot more natural now. We can actually bring the midtones up just a tad more. All right, so this is where you're gonna get the real good look for it. Next step you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna open your basic correction. This is where all the real magic happens. First thing, let's add some saturation to it. So as you can see, you can, I mean, if you wanna shoot a black and white look, go black and white. I like to bring the saturation up quite a bit. We are also going to bring the contrast up a little bit. If you want it flat, I want to bring that up a little bit. Next step, tweak the highlights down a little bit. As you can see, it was a little overexposed when I shot it. I ran all auto settings on my GoPro Hero 6, which is actually sitting right here. I ran all the settings just right, automatic Pro Tune. So next step is tweak your shadows down just a little bit. Whites you can kind of see what they're doing here. Whites you don't want to bring down too much. And then the blacks, if you bring the blacks down, it's gonna really make her look something. So now from there, if I want to add a little bit more warmth, I'll add it in here. If I don't, but we're basically gonna leave that right in the center. If you want to open the creative, if you want to add that flat look, you can open up creative and add the flat vintage look to it. You can actually bring up your vibrance even more, and here you can, this is where you're really going to start playing and try to figure out what you want it to look like. But this whole section right here is completely subjective on what you want the footage to look like. So we already have this done. Let's take a look once again without the editing. So this is your footage without the color correction, and then we will go ahead and play it with the color correction. So as you can see, I'm just gonna go ahead and click it a couple times so you can see it as it's playing. So let me find my spot here, and on, off, oops, off. So I will play it with it on and with it off, on, off. Footage looks already more cinematic. It's all about just practicing and getting the right footage out of the camera and working with it that way. Make sure your settings are right, your white balance is set, your frame rate's right, you know, make sure all of that stuff. Like I said, I shot just in auto settings, except for white balance. I set my own white balance. But go into Lumetri and Premiere, add some tweaking, make sure you hit those 3 wheels, and your curves are important. Other than that, have fun with it, you know, just get those colors you like. Let me see some of your stuff. So basically what I'm telling you right now is I want to see some of your GoPro footage. In the comments down below, please leave links to your footage. I want to see your GoPro B-roll footage. Let's have some fun, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up, the bell notification. Leave me a comment. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.